Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday, May 14th, and I'm glad you're up and at it. And I'm upstairs in our new addition that we have been working on for some time. And so it goes along with my message today. Well, hey, I just wanted to also tell you guys the great news, if you haven't heard by now, that Friday, Scott's scans came back all clear. There's no sign of any cancer right now. The nodule that was in his lung has been decreased, and we are just praising God and so humbled by his healing. We are just in a time of waiting for the Lord and what is next for us. And we know that one time a scan can be good, another time it can be bad. But today and this week, we're going to talk about what are you waiting for, and what is it that God has you in a holding pattern for. And I know as we waited on Friday, it was tough. It was tough to wait for those scans. It was tough to wait for the outcome. It was also tough to know what was on the other side of that appointment. So I just wanted to talk to a lot of you today about what are you waiting for, and what is it that maybe you feel like God has put you on hold. He's put you on a shelf. He's put you in a place that you do not like. And so I came up here upstairs because we've been in a holding pattern too. As we started our project last fall and last summer, Scott got sick, and so we are too in a waiting pattern. It's often hard to sit and watch something within your grasp and not be able to reach it. But a lot of times we live in a way that we prime ourselves to become impatient. How many of you say, I can't wait for, you fill in the blank? Like I'm saying, I can't wait for school to be over. Some of the kids are saying, I can't wait to graduate. Maybe some of you are saying, I can't wait to get married, or I can't wait to have this baby. Maybe somebody's saying, I can't wait for this divorce to be over. Maybe it's something really bad, or this sickness, and you're in this holding pattern, you're in this waiting that is causing you a lot of angst and fear and anxiety and just the unknown, the unsettling. Well, I came across a great verse this morning as I waited upon the Lord, and that's exactly what Morning Light is about. It's about waiting upon the Lord in the morning for him to show himself true to you and just to come and talk to you and be a part of your day. Morning Light is just that, for you to get away with him and wait upon the Lord. Many times I don't know what I'm going to say on any given morning, and I just sit and I wait and I say, God, I'm here. What is it that your people need to hear? And so I will wait upon him. Well, he gave me this verse this morning. It was one of those mornings. Psalm 37:7 says, be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Now, in a day and age that we don't want to wait for anything, that's kind of a tough verse. Now, we can wait for a second or two, but here's the other part. And many times we will wait as long as we can complain and murmur. And we've talked about this in the past several weeks, is that as long as we can complain and murmur, we feel like we're doing something. Well, what if God asks you to just sit quietly and say nothing and be still and just hold your tongue? What does that look like for all of you? Well, God says, be still in his presence and just know that he is God and that he has the plan for your life and that he is going to do great and mighty things in your life, like we've talked about several weeks now. But also, many of you are familiar with the verse found in Isaiah 40, verse 31. It says, but those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and they will run and not grow weary, and they will walk and not grow faint. How many of you are tired? How many of you feel like you want to faint? How many of you are so exhausted beyond belief that you're like, I don't know that I can do another day, God? What is it that keeps you so wound up that it's just exhausting you at every turn? Could it be that you do not wait upon the Lord just to wait for him, wait for what he has for you, and not be so anxious about what has not come to pass, what's not come into play, what's not come to fruition? Could you be willing to just wait upon him and hold yourself and wait for him to answer your prayers? Many times we don't like to do that, and we are not good at waiting. We act like 2-year-olds. How many of you have seen a 2-year-old that even waits for a second? I have never. They're not still for very long unless they're sleeping. And God says, you know what? I don't want you to act like that little child. I want you to be strong in me. And here's the thing about this verse. Could it be that we are exhausted of life and we're so spent because we don't wait? Because in this verse, it talks about running and flying and soaring. It's not that they're not doing anything. And many of us don't like that time of being still because we feel like we're being inactive. And God says, no, it's just like the mother who waits. We're having a grandson coming in a month or two, about 6 weeks. If he comes on time, he may be a little bit early. It's not that our daughter isn't doing anything. She is preparing her body to give birth. I mean, there are things actively happening inside of her, and that little guy is going to come. So many times we think if we sit and do nothing, that we're out of the will of God. And more times than not, we are in the will of God when we sit and just wait upon him, wait upon him, and he will meet you right where you're at. But we have to get into the habit of just being still and knowing that he is God. So what is it that you're waiting for today? Maybe you're waiting for a health report. Maybe you're waiting to lose weight and you're trying really hard. Maybe you're waiting to get your house done like me. Maybe you're waiting for the next big, great thing to come along. Maybe you're waiting for the new guy or the new gal. Would you be willing to wait upon the Lord so that he can renew your strength, and so then you could fly and soar the highest levels like the eagles do? We talked about that a week or two ago, where they often sit on the cliff and wait for those thunderstorms to come, and then they let that storm take them up to the highest level without any effort at all. Would you be willing to wait upon the Lord and just sit in his presence and do absolutely nothing on your part to make it happen? Now, that doesn't mean you don't keep living. That doesn't mean that you sit still in a chair and do absolutely nothing. I mean, there is a time for that. There's absolutely a time for that. In the morning, that's a great time. Here's the thing. God's been waiting for you all night to wake up. So he wants you to be ready when he's ready to talk to you. So just get up every morning, and even as you go to bed, and just say, Lord, I'm here waiting upon you. What do you want me to know? What is it that you have for me? Because we have to take the earbuds out. We have to turn the phones off. We have to turn the lights down, TV, iPad, all that's clamoring for our attention. God always talks. Many times people are like, I don't hear him. Well, the thing is that God doesn't really become silent. It's just that everything else has him so out. It's so loud that you can't hear him. So we have to quiet everything down and become still ourselves. That takes some time. That takes some discipline. A lot of times it can take 5, 10, 15 minutes just for me to like settle my mind and just quiet my spirit. It takes work. Don't think the enemy's not going to come along and give you something to deter you and give you something new to think about. It's going to be up to you to just center yourself and just be still and quiet your soul before the Lord, because he says when you do, you will rise up and you will be great, and you will run, and you are not going to get weary anymore, and you will not faint. But there's a but. First thing you've got to do is be still and sit into the presence of the Lord. So I want to encourage you today. Maybe somebody's out there is really anxious about something. Maybe you're really tired of just waiting, and you're like, come on, God, when is it going to happen? I've kind of been there myself. When, God, when? And why, God, why? Those are not always the questions that we need to be asking, other than, God, here I am. What do you want to say to me? I'm listening, and I just want to renew my strength in you. You'd be amazed if you would just take 10, 15, 20 minutes out of your day and just sit in the presence of the Lord and be still, how much stronger you would be. So I want to challenge you guys this week. Do that. Tell me, text me, send up messages. I'm waiting. I'm being still. I'm going to take you at your challenge, Shannon, and say, I'm going to wait upon the Lord and see what he has to say, and then let me know what he says. So I want you all to get out there. The birds are singing like crazy out there this morning. I've been up since 4:45, and they've been chatting all morning. So it's a beautiful day. Going to be warm again, maybe some thunderstorms coming our way, but get out there, enjoy the sunshine. It's a beautiful Monday. Remember, you might be the only Jesus that somebody will ever see. So get out there and be his hands and feet. Talk soon. Bye-bye.